Hello, this is Code Ode. Time to start talking about animation. When it comes to a game, generally we talk about three main things: updating, drawing, and the game loop. The game loop is that part of the game which runs when the game is started, where the updating and drawing process happens. So we need three main functions: function game update, function game draw, and then finally we need the function game loop, where we call both the game update and the game draw functions. And when the game starts, we simply call this game loop function to start the process of updating and drawing. Now we have a problem. How can we call this game loop function continuously so that the update and the drawing happens continuously in order for us to create the illusion of animation? Well, the window object has a very useful method. This method is called request animation frame, and we have to pass the callable, the function that it's going to be called continuously. So here we write game loop. This method is going to call this function game loop 60 times per second, which means 60 FPS. We save, go back to the browser, we see that everything is just fine. Now we want to draw a ball and then move the ball. So how do we do this? We have learned in the last video that we have to use the CTS object, the context, in order to draw and change the way we want to draw things. Now we simply begin a path, then we call the arc function method. We pass the x value 20, the y value 200, 200, and a radius of 50, the start angle 0, and the end angle mat pi times 2, which means a full circle. And then we write ctx strokes. We save, and then we go back to the browser. We can see our circle. In order to update the position of this circle, we have to have two variables to store this x and y coordinates. So up here we can write let ball x equal to 100, let ball y equal to 100, and instead of these values here we can write those variables. So ball x, ball y. We save, go back to the browser, and we can see that everything is fine. Now let's say we want our ball to move on the x-axis towards right, which means towards the positive x-axis. So we say ball x equal ball x plus 1. There is a shorter way to write this. We can simply write ball x plus equal 1, which is basically the same as the last way to increase this value by 1. We save this variable by 1. So we go back to the browser, and we can see that our circle is moving, but something crazy is happening here. Well, the problem is that we are drawing and drawing and drawing over the last drawing, and we keep on doing this, and this crazy thing happens. When we draw something, we have to clear the whole canvas of the last thing that we have drawn. So what we have to do is, right before here, using the context, we can call the function clearRect to clear the whole canvas, and then we are going to give it the starting x from where to start the clearing process. So let's say 0, and then the starting y coordinate from where to start the clearing process, and then the width and the height of the rectangle that we want to clear. Then we are going to write here canvas width and canvas height. Save, and then we go back to the browser, and now we can see that everything is fine, our circle is moving. Now that we have these two variables for the x and y coordinates, we can have another variable. Let's say that ball radius 50, and we can write this here. And if we want our ball to move on a diagonal, we can write ball y plus equal 1. And now we can see that our ball is moving on a diagonal to the right and down. Well, that's it with this tutorial. In the next tutorial we are going to talk about the collision with the edges of the screen. See you soon.